too bored, or you're just wondering what the hell is wrong in this place. Just like we have spent a lot of time, just like we spent a lot of time. I'm sorry, first of all, today is a very busy day for us, and we are trying to see how we send your seniors to their competency. So there's a lot of paperwork to do. For me to leave my table to be here is a sacrifice. Okay? So instead of all the classes we'll be having, I'm not sure, cultural shock is going to take us a lot of time, but this is the only course we'll be having today. And as you can see, it says culture shock. What is culture shock all about? And what are they really talking about? This has turned to be one of my most interesting topic, of course, when it comes to new nurses, because this is the time where I get my patients tested by the nurses. Because whether you like it or not, you are going to be facing cultural shock. And don't believe that culture shock has to start with, or culture shock is when you are in another country. Even when you are in your country and you move from your comfort zone to another city or to another village or to another town, you can as well still face culture shock. Unlike myself, we are from the Northwest region where we speak English. If you want to go to the central or to the littoral, you are going to meet people that are speaking French. It's like two walls apart. You are going to face culture shock. But we won't have this in school because this is not part of our curriculum. They just expect that we should assimilate, get into the cultures, and we are balanced. Does it happen that way? It doesn't. Okay? It doesn't happen that way. But these days we have been hearing about the culture of the people of Qatar. We have been hearing about ways to live with them. We have been hearing about the dislikes, the likes, how we act, how we speak, what we eat, how we breathe. And it becomes all about them. Now you're wondering where you fit in. How does all this relate with you? And how do you come in like an individual to a culture that is different from yours? Okay, here, what are the objectives of the subject? The objective of this course first is to understand exactly what is culture. Now, we are not simply going to try to make you to assimilate all the culture of the people of Qatar without identifying who you are. You can look at me, I am in my traditional regalia. There is one for the people for Kenya. There is one for the people from Philippines. There is one from the people from India. They all have their traditional regalians. They have what they want to wear. The people from Qatar equally have their traditional regalians, which we have seen is the abaya. So where do you come from? Do you throw your own culture out of the window? Of course not. Next, we are going to be looking at discussing what is culture shock. What exactly am I talking about? Because if you have to get into shock as a healthcare personnel, we know what shock is all about. But now this one is for culture. What is the differences? Is this equally a disease condition? Are we going to have signs and symptoms? Are we going to have a cure? Of course, we are going to get to that. The next thing we are going to be looking about is stages of culture shock. Of course. Just like we have stages of you having, say you're infected with HIV, we have HIV complications, we have stage 1, stage 2, or you are burnt, you have stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, or we talk about healing, first intention, second intention, third intention. Culture shock equally got stages, where it is still light, where it is severe, where it is out of proportion, where it can't be cured. Next, we will go to know about what? Are there any cures? Is there any way we can solve the problem of culture shock? And believe you me, the culture shock that you will have simply moving from one town to the other is much more better, even when it's different languages like my country, compared to when you're moving to a complete different country. Because believe you or not, if I am moving from the northwest to the central region where you are speaking French, it does not change the fact that I'm in my country. And you can say something and I will tell you whether I understand what you're saying or not. This country belongs to me and it as well as belongs to you. But when you're in a different country in total, it becomes a problem. So we want to know if I have any symptoms, if I am experiencing any stage at all in cultural shock, is there a way to solve it? As I said, this is one of the causes that when I get here, the nurses always try to test my patients. Because you will get into cultural shock. And when you start throwing tantrums and frustration, I will have to taste of it. So it is in your best interest to understand every step of culture shock so that you can be able to identify it in a friend. You can be able to identify it in your colleague, and you can be able to help them. You can be able to identify in yourself when you start experiencing any one of them, and you'll be able to help yourself. Is that understood? Now we go to the first. What is cultural shock? What is all about it? We have it is a shared system. The culture itself is a shared system of beliefs, values, and behavior, as well as it passes on from significant others, that is from the parents, the family members, the community, the country, to the next generation. So if the culture of Qatar, you aren't going to come here someday and you don't see them behaving the same way they are behaving. You are not going to go to my hometown, which is Batigo, and we refuse to start eating Namta. There is no way. This is our traditional food. From one generation to another, we are going to be eating the same food. We are going to eat our beans and our plantain. You aren't changing that. So it is a systematic process that they keep moving from one generation to the next generation. The same values, the same culture, the same beliefs will be moving. Now, it's not like there's no way to be changed. Of course, there will be changes. Like in our African culture, we will have where they do circumcision for ladies. Now they don't do it anymore. Is that correct? So these are the changes. For those that are bad, they might want to change. But for those that are good, they will want to incorporate and they want to keep it and they want to keep moving it from generation to generation. Now, let's move to the next, communication. The first thing you will identify in a culture, in a set of people that you will just get into any town at all is their language. That is why if you want to move to Germany, you have to learn how to speak German. If you want to go to UK, they will want to know that you can speak English. Now that you are going to be working with the Qatari and they speak Arabic, do we equally have to emphasize that you learn Arabic? You will have to learn Arabic at some point. But it does not necessarily mean you have to speak like them at the basic language. Okay? And the first thing you get into a country, you'll be able to identify the language that they speak. If you go to my country, as you land at the airport, the only thing you hear is bonjour. It will tell you that you're in Cameroon. That's the language. Okay? Now we move to the differences. We have the easily noticed values or culture of a particular country, and we have the deeper differences of a country. The culture now will come from where? Number one, the first thing you identify when you arrive at a country is you are going to identify the language. When you want to eat, you are going to identify their food. And when you see them, you are going to identify their dressing. And that is why you see me, you can identify me if you already know. If you see another person today wearing the same dresses, you are like, this traditional Ghanaian looks like that of my supervisor. Surely they are from the same town. Okay? Now, the values that are deeper, these are the values that you have to live with someone for a period of time to be able to understand the deeper values. And these values will be, their values. What do they value? How do they look at things? It should be different from you. If you go to the Western world, they will start telling you that there's a woman that is in a man or a man that is in a woman. They just have another perspective of thinking. If you come here, there is nothing like that. Okay? Now, these are their values, and this is how their values have been made. So you will need to live here for some time to understand the set of values of the people of Qatar. Now, we look at their thinking pattern. How do they think? You cannot just know how somebody thinks if you just meet them for the first day. You need to live with them for some time to be able to know how they think. Next, their beliefs. What do they believe in? How do they dress? How do they eat? How do they relate? If something happens, what do they do? Now you get to meet them, you get to live with them and understand their beliefs in a deeper depth when you have been there for some time. Okay, these are two pictures of a gentleman and a lady. The gentleman bows in greetings. According to his tradition, according to his beliefs, according to his values, just like the people of Qatar, you are not permitted to give a handshake to a lady or anyone of the opposite sex. You just bow and greet, salam alaikum. But to us, that does not make any sense because I can greet everybody with a handshake. So this lady is greeting according to her own values, which does not prohibit someone from greeting an opposite sex. He, on the other hand, is greeting according to his own values, which prohibits a male from greeting a female with a handshake. Shamsa, does that make any sense to you? Correct. Okay. Now let's move to the next. This is just a real demonstration. This is the same game. And these are two nationals. This is a national uniform for handball for the people of Qatar, as well as for volleyball for the people of Qatar, as well as this is a national uniform, let's say from any other country from Europe. It is acceptable, as well as this is acceptable in their country. If she has to leave Europe to join the volleyball for the ladies in Qatar, she will have to dress like the people of Qatar. It means she will leave her values and become one of the people of Qatar by identifying like them. If she wants to leave from Qatar to go to Europe, she has to identify like the people of Europe. If you do not like their values, then you don't join. Because if that is the national uniform, you will be in it. We are talking here about white and we are talking here about black. Does it matter if you are white or you are black? Of course, no. Now, this individual is having the ladies from the Philippines, their hair is very strict. Our hair is very curly, right? This is the difference. One person is like, okay, because of the curly hair, he wants to touch, he wants to feel, he wants to see what the difference is. But no, according to his values, you are not supposed to touch my hair. You understand? So as you live with the people, you get to understand in depth what their values are, what are their beliefs, what they want you to do, what they will not want you to do. Next, it's a demonstration, don't worry. Now we are talking about culture shock. So that was just an introduction. Now itself, this is all coming down to culture shock. And what exactly is culture shock? You have dreamt all your life to live from your mother, or live with your mother and your father, your brothers and sisters, to travel abroad and to be able to work and cater for them. I start dreaming of traveling when I ever saw a plane. I did not care where I wanted to travel to. I just wanted to enter a plane.
Hi. Sorry. Oh, I broke my name.
Sorry.
I'm sorry. Will you be? Why you are shouting?
You are getting there. We close all the doors.
Will you be done at 3?
Yes.
Because I will communicate to the driver to take them at 3 to Aspersur to get their SIM cards.
At 3.
Yeah. So
Okay.
they will get their SIM cards and then they will be home at 4.
Okay.
Okay.
Let me
You
see.
finish
how
it.
I was from Najaf
Yes.
about that they need to talk and nearby to give their SIM cards.
Okay.
It's okay. You have time tomorrow for class.
No, I will take just the culture of the next class before tomorrow. Bye bye. Okay. So you are excited to travel. You are excited to make that difference. You want to see how the things will move. You want to see how you are going to solve problems. You dream of the fact that when you travel, your life will be different and the life of your family will be different. Okay, no problem. That is good. When you get here, you will certainly in the plane, you are still wondering, I left my hospital and I am going to a new environment. How does it look like? With the people like me, certainly you know that there is a, what do they call it? Racism everywhere, right? So you must have that little part of you that was like, will I be loved or will I not be loved? And the next question is, what do they look like? How do the people of Qatar look like? You just realize that we look like you. We are not too different. Next, how are they going to like me? Are they friendly people? Are they not friendly people? These are questions you are still trying to get. It's just like now that you're in accommodation and there are a lot of different people, a lot of different nationalities. You don't know if you get into the kitchen, I should go and cook where everybody is in the kitchen, or I should allow everybody to be in the kitchen for example. You still have that fight of understanding whether you should do something, whether they will like you, whether you enter the kitchen and you on the gas and somebody will scream at you. These are the worries and these are the fights you are going to be fighting with yourself. We talk about culture because we are coming from different directions, we are having different type of food, we are having different type of shoes, we are having different type of clothes. If you have to live here and you dress the way you dress and you go to the mall, you are going to discover that there will be a very big mall. But are you sure that big mall will have the type of dresses you want to wear? This is equally going to be a problem because everything will seem to be different. The clothing, the hairstyles, the salon. In our home country, you can just get out of the house and you meet a salon and you do whatever you want to do on your hair and you leave. But here you're going to see the salon that easy. And even if you see a salon, will you see an African salon to do your hair? Because your hair is different, it needs another type of skills to be able to do a good style for your hair. That too becomes a problem. Now, what is culture shock in itself? Shamsa, Ray.
It is the profound sense of disorientation and discomfort that comes with extended travel and living in a foreign culture markedly different from one's own.
Okay. Now, what does culture shock say? They say it's the profound sense of disorientation. Your home country is where you are oriented because you know the towns, you know the villages, you know the states, you know the regions, you know everything about your country. So you are oriented. And now you have left that place where you have complete orientation about to a new environment where you have no orientation. That is why we say it is a profound sense of disorientation, discomfort. You left your comfort zone, and your comfort zone is the town where you were living. That is your comfort zone. So you have left everything that you love to do, and you did not just travel from one town to the next. You went out of the country, not to your neighboring country. You went further. So this is the extent, is you leaving your comfort zone, is you leaving the area where you have complete orientation to somewhere that you are not comfortable, to somewhere that you are disoriented. And that is why we start by giving you orientation to bring your knowledge back to the new environment that you are in it. Is that understood? Next, this is how when you got here, your minds were a blank slate. However, we have tried to start carving and writing one after the other some small materials to make this blank slate looks like something new. You came with, apart from working as a nurse, your expectations were not far-fetched. You did not know what you are going to meet. You did not know who you are going to meet. You did not know what it's going to look like. Of course, you can hear of stories of people traveling out of the country and were trafficked into certain sex trafficking or whatsoever that they might not like. That might not be exactly what they told them that they were going to do, right? And this is going to be you living and coming, though you have expectations of a good life, you do not know if that life will actually be good or bad. There are people that have traveled, come to Qatar, there are people that have traveled, gone to Dubai, to Europe, to America, to Canada, and still did not make it. And still went back home empty-handed. Some came, the pressure was too much, and they went crazy. This is your brains, or the first day that you come, you are completely blank. Because what the future has, you don't know. But we will go to the next stage. Stress and anxiety. Because of the fact that you do not know, you become stressed, you become anxious. Your stress is the profound need to understand and to know what will be. Which we said that one. How will you manage your stress? How will you manage your anxiety that you have left your home country and you come here? I conducted your interview, right? And I asked you a question. How are you going to manage yourself on the days that you're stressed? Now, if you go to work and that day was not a very good day for your patient, and the patient has branded you with insult or whatsoever and made that day completely difficult, how will you re-energize yourself? What will you do?
Sometimes I could maybe go to the toilet, relieve myself, take a glass of water. If it's a patient with tantrum, sometimes you just let them have their tantrum.
Okay. Now this is the question. The question is not about how you are going to manage a difficult patient, but the question is how are you going to manage yourself after you had a stressful duty? She says shopping.
Listening to music.
You listen to music. Now, these are the different stages. There are people that will love cooking. So when they come and that craziness and all that, they just decide to cook and cook. There are people that would love to go eat something nice from a restaurant. They go get some KFC and they celebrate themselves. There are people that would love to do sport. So when they come because of the stress and everything, they dress up, they go for sport. I love to watch movies. So I watch a Cinderella movie, I watch a Princess CEO something movie, I watch something that a love movie because I want to remove myself from the scene into the princess life, at least for a second. Or I can read a book, or I can scroll on Facebook until I fall asleep. However, these are the different ways in which we are able to manage our stress and our anxiety. If a nurse is the one that cannot know or do not know how to manage their stress and their anxiety, it is a nurse that is going to gradually fall into depression and get into psychosis. Because whether you like it or not, our job is difficult, our job is going to drive us crazy, and I need to know that as you come back from work, you have something to do that is going to refreshen you, and the next day you go back on duty. If you like, you are stressed, you are depressed, you are psychotic, whatever you want to name it, we need you to still get up in the morning and go to duty. I need to know that my nurse is capable of taking care of herself, cleansing her mind, and get up the next day with a smile on their face and go on duty. Is that understood? So that is why we come to ask, how do you manage your anxiety? How do you manage your stress if your patient does not understand even a word in English and he keeps speaking in Arabic? Because there is language barrier, you cannot take care of your patient in a satisfactory manner. And because you cannot do it, it becomes a burden to you. When they want to pull you, they tell you that they want to pull you, don't know, and then they pull on the bed. They're having breathing difficulties, they tell you, you don't know, and then you see them in crisis. This is going to bring a lack in you and you're going to feel bad. But I need to know that a nurse is willing to learn, a nurse is ready to go home and offload the weight on their shoulders and be free again so that they can go back to work and work again. If not, you have a patient that you have a problem with and then you tie that problem in your heart, the next day you go to duty and you start bringing up attitude to your patient. No, they are patients, they are sick. And they will give you attitude, and they will give you tantrums. But I need you to be in the best and in your best possible behavior so as to help them. You are the one to help them. That is why you are trained. That is why you are sent there. Is that understood? Okay. Next, what causes cultural shock? Number one, information overload. Just like what I'm doing now. You came for the first day, I start telling you company policies, I start telling you culture, I start telling you culture shock, I will be telling you the nurses' responsibilities, they will be giving you the 5 core competencies, how you have to manage physical assessment, medication administration. All this is going to be information overload. And because of that, somebody can get frightened and we will get into culture shock. Number two, we talk about role shifting. You have worked in a hospital setting. You have worked in a hospital setting. We all have been working in a hospital setting. But now we are working in a home care setting where we have our patient in their homes. And because of the role shift, you can fall into culture shock. Before, you really do not have to concern yourself about how the patient's room look like, because probably there are nurse assistants that will do that. You are not concerned about a lot of things. Now you would be. You are not concerned about if the patient, who brought the patient food, what time did they bring the patient's food. You just need to come and save your medication and ask the patient, have you eaten? And if they say no, you have the family to bring the patient food so that the patient can eat. But now you will be the one to make schedules for when the food will be given, when the patient is praying, when the patient is going to bed, when the patient is going, you are the one, when they will be ambulating, you will be doing complete holistic care. And because of the rule shift, you might fall into construction. Next, we have personal shock. You just cannot cope with all this information. You just cannot cope with all the things that you keep coming here and they keep telling you every day. You are stuck with what you already have in your mind and you are unable to change. It's like the nurses that are from 2000. When you tell them that a particular procedure has shifted from this procedure and now this is what we are looking at, the nurse will tell you we have been doing it. No matter what you tell that nurse, there is nothing you are going to do to make them change that idea. This is how they have been doing and this is how we should do it. They are nurses that are unable to learn. And because we are the nurses of today and the future of tomorrow, we should be capable to offload and reload. Offload and reload. And that is why here, you will be going to work and coming back from time to class. Because when I identify that there is something you cannot do correctly, I will send you to class. If I come for supervision and I realize that you could not do your physical assessment correctly, or when you are supposed to do it, I will send you to class. If I come for supervision and realize that you cannot take care of the tracheostomy correctly, I will send you to class. Are you understanding? So at every moment that there is a lack, the lack or the gap will be filled. You should be ready. You should be available to keep offloading and reloading. Offloading and reloading. The materials that they tell you that this is how you knew this was supposed to be done, if you are being told that it changed, then I want to see that change in you. But because of this mindset that you already have, if you do not want to change, you are going to fall into culture shock. And I tell you, we have nurses that come here within 1 week and they say, I'm not the do. I cannot cope. Okay, from there, we are going to be looking at the signs and symptoms of culture shock. When somebody is in culture shock, what do you see? How do you identify? How do you evaluate? How are you going to diagnose the fact that right now I am in culture shock? The first thing, you are going to be anxious. You are not sure you are capable. You are not sure you have the mental ability, the physical ability, or the skills to perform the duties you are being told to do. When you are in a hospital, you have other nurses, you have the presence of the doctor, you have the presence of your supervisor, you have the presence of everyone possible. But now that you'll be going to the home care and you'll be in the home with the patient, you are the only individual going to be in that home. It means you take total responsibility of everything that happens to the patient. Before, we could easily say, oh, you were not the one that did it, it is the nurse assistant. Now you can't say it's anybody because you are the only nurse there. Do you understand? Okay. From the anxiety, we have grief. You will start wondering if you take the right decision. You will start wondering. You will start being stressed over the fact that you left your home, you left your husband, your daughter might not be fine. You are not more eating your mother's food. You cannot more see your boyfriend. All these things is going to give you grief. You're going to wonder if the decision you took was not, you try if you could bring back, you are in denial. You don't want to see or accept the fact that finally, I have moved from my home, I have moved from my country, I am in a new environment and I have to start from fresh. From grief, you go to what? Disorientation, which is the fact that you don't actually know anything about that country. And because you don't know anything about the country, you need assistance with everything, even just leaving the accommodation to go and buy. You needed to ask where the grocery shop is, right? And that is not something anybody wants to learn. You are used to knowing things. Because you were learning right from childhood, you just knew that you know. But now you have to start asking. The disorientation, resentment. You come here and talk, you're not responding. At some point in time, you don't know why you should be in class. You feel like you left home, you know everything, you were supposed to be sent straight to duty. The resentment of myself, resentment with your colleagues, resentment with others in the accommodation, resentment even when you're sent to duty. When you start feeling it, you should understand that you are experiencing the signs and symptoms of culture shock. Next, we'll be looking at loneliness. You don't want to associate with anybody. You feel like you could go back home and be with the same friends you have had, the same colleagues you have had. You will be by your parents and you will still be taken care of the same way you were. No, Habibi. Now you are independent young ladies on a journey to succeed and create a remarkable path for yourself, for your children, and to assist your family to attain their own personal goals. So instead of when you start feeling lonely, when you start sending people away, somebody will only greet you good morning. That good morning will become a massive mistake. Please know that you are experiencing one of the signs and symptoms of culture shock. When you live from loneliness, you start having insomnia, you cannot sleep. You talk to your brother, then you call your sister, then you call your mom, then you call your dad, you will tell them what happened today. You stay in class for almost 4 hours before you will see the supervisor. She was busy, and then you will tell them how you drank our chai and it was never good, like the one you make yourself. You tell them how you went to look for hockeyberry, which is the jama jama. I don't know if you have it in your country. It is in my own country, but it's not here in Ghana. So if I had gone to look for it in the shops, I will not see it. Then I had to call my mom. I actually went to look for hockeyberry, I did not see. Now, those food types that you could see in your own country, you will not see it here. It will become a reason for giving you insomnia, and you are going to stay up for long hours. And then when you come to class, you are exhausted. When you go on duty, you are exhausted. And the time you should be working on duty, you'll be struggling to sleep. All those off. Is that understood? Next symptoms we will have is loss of appetite, overreacting. You will not have appetite to eat. You will be overreacting over little issues. Somebody just passed and took your pen, or somebody came took your PMI forms to check on something and you flip on them. Next, you'll be having headaches. So all these signs and symptoms, when you start experiencing them, when you are able to identify it in your colleague, you should be knowledgeable enough to identify and tell them you are having one of the symptoms of culture shock. Now we will move from the culture shock and we will go to stages of culture shock. There are 4 main stages of culture shock. And what are these stages? Stage number 1 is the honeymoon phase, which is what you two are experiencing now. You are still blabbing to your friends and telling them how Papa is good. You are still telling them how you went to a mall and you could see everything. There was foodstuffs, there were dresses, there were oils, there were hair, there was everything you needed. You still move on the way, you see the highway well constructed and you are completely blown. You go to city center and all the buildings are like you are in a valley. But if you are not in a valley, it's just building. Everything looks good. The heat, you were from an area that was maybe a little bit cold, and now everywhere is warm outside, and you are completely happy. Now, I am making a lot of sense because this is the dream you have always wanted. But I tell you, I will not make a lot of sense for we'll make 3 months here. And I tell you, your patient said you'd be like, come on, this lady, what are you talking about? So everything now to you still look nice. The supermarché, you went to the beach, you went to places, you went to parks that people just walk and relax. I cannot remember the parks we have in the country. Because we are not relaxing, we are okay. There is no time to be moving and gallivanting on some places that you are relaxing. But here you meet a lot of parks, a lot of resorts. So this phase is still your honeymoon phase, where you are so excited, you are so happy to be in Qatar, you are so blown. You are thanking God every day for giving you this opportunity to showcase your talent, your skills, to share your love, to share the care that you have as a nurse to another set of people that are different from your people. Let's go to stage 2. Stage 2 is the shock phase. Here you start to complain. Even though in stage 1 you were so excited to go to the mall, and according to you, everything you needed was in the mall. Now you went to the mall to get a pair of shoes, and you could not see your size. All the shoes looks like this, even when you are measuring size 42. They still cannot fit your leg. Because first, from Africa, we are broad, we are big. Unlike the people from the Philippines, unlike those from India, who are just small in structure. Their legs are like this. They are small, unlike us. We start wearing size 42. They are 42, and our 42 are two different things. Now, you want to dress the way you are dressed, but you cannot find that anything that looks like that in any mall, because their dresses are looking like the people and the culture of the people of Qatar. You now start complaining. Come on, in this whole mall, there is no dress for me. You go to a salon to make your hair, and they tell you they do not understand how your hair is. They can't make your hair. You start complaining. The roads that when you came in, you were fascinated. It was well structured. It was nice. Now you don't find those roads any more fascinating because there is traffic. Because you have to stop at the red lights. In your country, everybody just have to find themselves and keep moving. But now you have to respect red lights. It becomes another problem. So in stage 2, you spend your time complaining. And if somebody already start complaining about everything, just know they are experiencing cultural shock and they are in their phase 2. And when you will start being in your phase 2, I will know. Because now you're still in your phase 1. Those ones have finished their stages of cultural shock. We go to the next regression phase. What is the regression phase talking about? You have actually been shocked. Now, this is not the culture still getting to a shock. Now you are in the shock itself. At this level, you are homesick. You just want to go back home. You dream of being at home. You dream of being in your school. You dream of being in your own place of work. You dream of being in the environment that you have always been. The only thing that you want somebody should tell you is that you will enter the plane the next day and you go back home. And at this stage, many people get stuck. Many people do not move away from stage 3. I was in Dubai for 3 years, and I spent 3 years in stage 3 of culture shock until I went back home. The shock cannot shock me now. Poverty has shown me shaking in Cameroon. So there's no way any kind of shock can come close to me. I hope you are understanding. If you are not told, you will make the same errors, you will be stuck, and you will not identify that this is what is going through. I dreamt of my home country for 3 whole years. Like every day, I see myself at home, I see myself in school, I see myself in my own place of work, I see myself in the market. Truly, my village people were at work. They were doing a very marvelous job. Yeah, you are going to blame your village people. Until I had to go back home, I did not have any peace. And when somebody is already in stage 3, they are not happy. There is nothing you are going to say that will make any sense. And that is why I need each and every one of you to be each other's keeper. Because you should be able to identify early enough when your colleague is already in stage 3, because they themselves will not identify the fact that they are in stage 3 of culture shock. You get up in the morning, you dress, you put on your uniform to go to work. It's like, what am I working for? I am working, I'm killing myself. Why? My family, they are home doing nothing. I am working, they're shouting, they keep shouting at you and work. It gives you and drives you crazy. Please, if you identify each other or any of your colleagues in culture stage 3, if you can't handle it, if you can't talk to them, if you can't encourage them, call me, inform me, and I will do the talking myself. Is that understood? Because this stage is a very critical stage, that it is either you're going to put yourself in trouble, or you're going to put the patient in trouble, or you're going to put me in trouble, or you're going to be so damn sick that you're going to pack your things, and the next minute we hear that she left yesterday. Because to you at that moment, the only thing that would make sense is the fact that you should go home. Any other thing apart from that makes no sense. You will cry, you will weep, of course, we'll send people home. You will cry, you will threaten to kill yourself if they don't send you home, because you are depressed, you are homesick, every other thing is mixed in you. But I need you to leave this stage, no matter how bad it is. And if there is something that must motivate you to leave, I want you to always think of where you left from, why you left where you left, and the reason why you are here. If you are here for a greater purpose, if you are here for a greater and a better future, I do not want you to get stuck of where you're coming from. Because until you know where you're coming from, can your steps ahead make any difference? You left home without a project. You left home without a dream. I want you today to go home and think of the dream that you want to achieve within these 2 years. Is it about building your mother a house? Is it about going to school? Is it about doing something that is going to empower you, empower your family in any way possible? Let that be your motivational factor in which you are not going to permit or allow yourself to get stuck in stage 3. Is that understood? Now, from stage 3, we'll get to acceptance. This is the level where you tell yourself it is okay. I can do this. I am stronger. This is the level where you tell yourself, I can make it. I have the will to make it. This is the stage where you tell yourself, I am stronger. I can beat this. And let me tell you how this stage always works back. We are already at the end of the month, and your mother calls you to tell you that maybe your father got sick and he's in the hospital. You don't have money, right? You still haven't received money. So you encourage yourself, giving yourself reasons why you are here. That is why I need you to tell yourself all the reasons why you are in Qatar. To tell yourself and give yourself, if possible, write it somewhere why you left Kenya, why you left Philippines, why you left India to come to Qatar. Because I bet you, if you were living a good life wherever you are, if you were living, traveling the world wherever you are, you would not be here. You'll be in Kenya. I will be in Cameroon. But if that life was not good enough, if that life was not what I envisioned for myself, if that life is what I want to change so badly, let it be a motivational factor to get me to acceptance phase. And until you have been in an acceptance phase, you will find it difficult to live normal. Yes, it took me 4 years to go from Dubai back home to Cameroon and get my brain reset by poverty, hardship, for me to come back, and I did not even go through the culture shock. I was just enjoying the process. Because I learned the hard way. You might get into stage 3 and force yourself to go back home. If we can't convince you to stay, we have no choice than to send you home. But when you get home, you make 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, and you will start regretting. So I need you here. And most often, the most motivational factor for stage 4 is the monthly salary. Child! It's the truth. The monthly salary. Remember, whether you are in class or you start working, you will receive your salary. So at the end of the month, maybe by the 2 weeks that you're here, they will give you your bank card and your everything. Everything is set, your numbers, your ID, your licenses, everything is ready for you to start work. At the end of the month, you see your phone, salary gone in. Oh, Jesus. Your mom called her, she wanted to buy photosynthesis, you send the money. Your brother called her, his eyebrow just need to be shaved. You send the money. You go to one money and your sister says her hair had an accident. You send the money. Your father says that at this moment right now, you know the same things we do them to take money, they start doing it to us when we grow up. He started telling you how the tires of his car when is squeezed or something that is far fresh. You had the money and you solved these problems. Maybe you actually had a good need. Maybe you had your goals straight and you know what will happen. Maybe before leaving the country, you took a loan. And when you got in your first month's salary, you said half of your loan was clear. Lord of Jesus. That is the fastest time my problems have been solved. It becomes a motivational factor for you to say that, you know what, I can do this. One of the nurses told me one day that my highest motivational factor for my daily duty is my monthly salary. When you insult me, I tell myself, yeah, I am paid for you to insult me so you can my head. When you stress him, he says, yeah, I am paid for you. This is his motivational factor because he knows the sacrifices he has done to be here and to be able to give his family the life they want to live, the life he visioned for them. So whatever is going to be your motivational factor to get to the acceptance phase is the only thing I want to hear. Whether it is the passion of being a nurse, because I always say, if you tell me it's the passion of being a nurse, then being back at home can still be you being a nurse because you still working, right? But would the salary in Kenya, will it even be half the salary here? Do you know the problem that the nurses give me per day? And sometimes I'm like, no problem, just do it. Money will solve these problems. If it is your paycheck that is going to be your motivational factor, I always say, nursing is a call, but our bills do not answer to any call except for financial calls. For you to be able to pay your mother's hospital bills in Kenya, any finances, you can't use your nursing call to answer that. For you to be able to build a house or pay rent for your parents, you need financial. Your call will not answer that. So if it is the finances that will be your motivational factor to accept, to tell yourself that you are good enough, to tell yourself that it is okay, I want you to get there and be okay. So that we can all move in this journey and move together and be happy while moving. Because the highest thing is I don't want you to go on duty and you are looking as if somebody killed you or you are angry with the whole world. No, nobody is against you. We are already adult. We have the responsibilities to heal from everything that anyone has done to us. They hurt you, that is true. They said bad things about you, that is true. But it is in your responsibility to heal. And you can choose to heal every second after somebody says something. If the two of you are friends and you tell her to shut up, will you be angry? No. If I now tell you to shut up, will you be angry? Okay, now that is because you know me, right? But if I was not your friend, if I tell you shut up, it becomes an insult. Why is she telling me shut up? We can even pick a fight. But your friend just told you shut up, why did you not take it personal? You get offended because the person person that is telling you is not your friend, it's not your relative, it's not somebody that you put in high esteem. But those people that you put in high esteem, they will tell you the same words and you will laugh over it. So I want you to understand that as long as you are here, as long as you pick up your patients and you start your duties, anything the patient says, you should understand first, they are sick. Second, anybody that is sick will throw tantrums, will want you to take care of them at another extent, will forget about you, especially if your patient is dementia, and remember you and shout at you at all moments. Your brain should be filled with a lot of love, a lot of healthiness, a lot of forgiveness, and ready to heal every day so you can go back and work. Heal. Don't carry yesterday's problems back to work today. Get home. If you love to eat, eat. If you think that you want to go for shopping, go and buy something from the shop. It will give you the gratification of you buying. If you think that you want to listen to music, listen to all the music in your catalog. Do whatever. If you want to cook, cook anything that you want to cook. If you feel like you're the person that needs to share it with somebody, as long as you are not supposed to share that with the wrong person, call me and tell me, oh, what happened? Because somebody needs to vent. Someone needs to tell somebody what they did and how they were unhappy about it. And when they are done talking, they feel better. So if you must vent, call me and vent. When I hear you start shouting and telling me all that, I know what is wrong with you. I will give you the audience to speak. And when you're speaking, it relieves you. And I will tell you, you did right, you did wrong, this is how you should manage it next, so that it doesn't escalate to this level, and it is all going to be okay. Is that understood? Do you have any questions for any of the stages for culture shock? Will you be able to identify, if you start in the early stage of culture shock, to know that this is me getting to another stage? Now that you're in stage 1, when you get to stage 2, do you promise that you'll be able to identify it in yourself or in each other and be able to be a helping hand to your colleague? I am not expecting you or else nurses to believe that toxic environment of nurses that you feel like your colleague is your problem. Here, your colleague is not your problem. Your colleague is somebody that is working hand in glove with you for the betterment of the patient and not against you. So I am expecting the same love, the same tolerance, the same forgiveness that you give your patient, that you'll be able to extend that love to your colleague, that respect to your colleague. Is that understood? Okay. Now, after you have finished your culture shock, what will you start feeling? You will start feeling cultural diversity. Cultural diversity is now you accepting the fact that though I know that I am a Mogamo lady from Batibo, I am equally in Qatar, and there is a culture in Qatar that I want to embrace. I do not forget who I am. I take who I am with me and embrace another person from another culture. We just ate food from the people from India, right? Okay, it's my first time of eating it. Did I refuse? I did not. I ate the food that she made for us. Now somebody from the Philippines will make food someday and bring to work. And then they want you to eat. You don't necessarily say, no, I don't eat food from this area, I don't know this food. Eat it, taste it. This is you accepting the differences in culture and welcoming the people. If you deny them, if you reject them, if you refuse the offers they give to you, is you still in your stage of culture shock. Is you not being able to identify that there is diversity in culture, and as we move from one area to another, we will meet different sets of people and we will be able to live together as one. I don't have to eat all the food that you gave me, but at least I ate the food, and I tell you that your food is completely beautiful. It tastes so nice. Because even though you might not eat my achu, I should be understanding that you have something different that I can eat. I'm not sure if I bring lantern to you, you might not completely love it, but if you taste it, it makes me feel that sense of love. The fact that even though you do not eat it, but you are trying to eat. At this level, you are going to be working and the patients will bring you food. And it is not going to be your food. It's not going to be the food you know how to prepare or the one you've been eating. It's going to be their food. But you are going to eat it. And you're going to be happy. And you're going to tell mama that the food is very nice. And because of the value of the people of Qatar, they are going to prepare that food again on another day because you like it. And then they are going to prepare it again because you like it. And maybe you just did not like it. You were just appreciating the food. But if they bring it, eat it. If you cannot eat their food, then you are not accepting them. And if you cannot accept somebody, how do you want to take care of the person that you don't accept? That is where you become relaxed, you become free, you become welcoming, you become appreciative in your accommodation. How many different nationalities are there? We have Bangladesh, we have Philippines, we have Indians, we have Pakistanis, we have Cameroonians, we have Kenyans, we have people from different nationalities. All these people have different food types. They dress differently, they have different values, they have different things, but we are not fighting. We are not killing ourselves because we are from different regions or different countries. We just live in the same space, respecting each other's culture and living us. Is that understood? Okay. Now from there, what are we going to? Healthcare differences. You have to add the differences now from what we understand from our home country. You'll be adding prayers. You'll be adding segregation. Segregation, you don't add in our hospitals, both the men and women come to the same hospital, right? They will be consulted by a male or a female doctor. Nobody cares, right? But here, males will go to male and female will go to female. And you have to learn that. You cannot make a mistake about that. Next, we'll be looking at consent. Everything you will have to do to a patient, you need to seek their consent before you do it. Is that understood? And for those that will be using insurance for payment, you need to make sure that you talk with the insurance company to ascertain the fact that that health services that they want to offer can be paid by the insurance. If not, you talk to the family and get their consent to continue. Is that understood? Next, sleeping pattern. Sleeping pattern. There are people that will be sleeping and getting up early in the morning because they want to pray. And during Ramadan, they will be walking by morning and still up by night. You will know the sleeping pattern. Visitors. You will know when a visitor is coming, when a visitor is not coming, from where you should send a visitor. I told you yesterday, there is a majlis that is outside the patient's home. That is a small hut. You send the visitors and wait for the person they are looking for to come forward. However, if it is a male visitor and they are already females in the majlis, you should be able to direct the male to the direction where they're supposed to be. Is that understood? Okay, from there we look at language barrier, which is going to be a primary factor. Because there's always going to be a language barrier between you and between the patient or their family. But whatever it is, the basic Arabic that you're going to learn, make sure you put it in maximum effect and use it. They should see that you are struggling and trying to communicate with them. Not saying that you will not meet somebody that can speak English. You're going to meet somebody at home that can speak English and you take it from there. Is that understood? Okay. Next, we are going to look at the cure. Does culture shock has any cure? Number one, don't panic. If you identify it in yourself, don't panic. The more you panic, the more anxiety and the more stress you have, the more worse your depression gets. Number two, prepare yourself. Prepare yourself mentally, prepare yourself physically, prepare yourself emotionally. That is the preparation we are giving you now. by telling you what will happen. And because of the knowledge you have, it's going to be the first instrument that will set you free. The next, we are going to look at study. Study the country, know Qatar. And that is why we are teaching you about Qatar. So your cultural shock should not be a bomb to you. Next, give yourself time. Understand that with time, everything will be okay. Give yourself time to understand, to learn, and to be efficient in them. Now you might not know something. Now you might not understand. And if you are working with a senior colleague, you are going to realize that they have integrated into the system and everything is going on well. Even if they don't understand the language. You just give yourself time and know that with time, you too will integrate in that system. You too will be an expert. You too will be able to carry on your duties with ease. Is that understood? Okay. Now, use friends, family as support. Use your friends, use your family as support. Come to me and you'll get the support that you need. Next, write about it. Get a journal. When you cannot communicate what you truly feel, write it down. That way you'll be able to tell somebody by reading it. Is that understood? And just writing it down will help you to solve the problems, because sometimes what we only need is to communicate. And communication does not mean you must communicate with somebody else. You can as well communicate with your book. Okay. The best way to prepare and to understand how to manage culture is to know the culture itself. Learn about the people, learn about the differences, learn about the ideas. And that is why we started by teaching you what the culture and the people are all about. Next, what is culture? What is diversity? When we have understood what culture is all about and we have accepted, what we are now looking at is no more culture shock, but culture diversity, which is the most beautiful time that you are going to experience, which is the time that you do not feel the need to go back home to be in the same set of people, but you will want to keep traveling and traveling and traveling to meet different cultures and meet different people. And diversity stands for what? Different individuals valuing each other regardless of their skin, regardless of their intellect, regardless of their talent, and the years of experience. What is diversity again? I said diversity. D stands for the different individuals valuing each other regardless of their skin, regardless of their intellect, regardless of their talent and the years they have in understanding those people. So at that moment, the only thing you are doing is valuing each other, respecting each other, enjoying the differences. From there, we go, can culture change? Has Africa ever changed? Do you think that I will stop eating namutan? I can't. I always eat namutan. I always eat beans and banana, beans and cocoa. You always eat your traditional food. And your culture will be the same. So no, culture will not change as you move across the globe. However, you can value and accept other people's culture and integrate in their own environment. It does not take you. You cannot take the Batibo girl out of me. Is that understood? Okay. To be successful, develop a positive attitude and a cultural sensitivity. A positive attitude, you are welcoming. I have eaten Filipino foods. The infection control now, she's for holidays. She has a positive attitude to her culture. Why do I say so? If she wants you to eat Filipino food, she does not ask you whether you want to eat it or not. She will tell you that you have to eat it. and we eat it, and it's nice. Okay, I want you to know that your food that you adore so much is not the only nice thing on earth. There are other things on earth that are equally nice and beautiful, and it is in the culture of others. So, my dear, try to have a taste. You will love it. Next, awareness of culture shock. As long as you are aware of the fact that something can happen in your life like culture shock, it only takes you from one step to success. Next, remembering whatever you give out will come back to you. As a nurse, I always say you should be the best nurse you can ever be. Because while you are taking care of somebody's mother here in Qatar, or somebody's father, or somebody's child here in Qatar, there is another person in Kenya, there is another person in the Philippines, there is another person in Cameroon, taking care of our own relatives. So make sure that whatever you're giving out is what if given back to you, you will take it. Is that understood? Next, realizing that what we are not, realizing that we are not right or wrong, we are only different. The driver's here?
I'm not sure.
If he's here, just tell me, I'm almost finished. Oh, okay. Realizing that we are not right or wrong, we are only different. If the two of us have to prepare stew, we will prepare it. If the two of us have to prepare stew, we will prepare it differently. Does it make that my method of cooking is wrong? No, my method of cooking is not wrong. Your method of cooking is not wrong. It is simply different. It is the same as I tell you, whether you are a Muslim or you are a Christian, it is simply because you were born by Muslim parents or you were born by Christian parents. Do you think if your parents were Christians, you would have been a Muslim? You would be a Christian. If your parents were Christians, would you have been a Muslim? You would be a Christian. Now, I'm not saying that people cannot grow up and change their faith, but I'm saying that the faith in which you were born, it is not by choice. It's just like we did not choose our parent. Because if I wanted to choose my parent, I would be looking at them and I'm what is it that rich? I don't know. So somebody that has money. Does it mean that my parent is all about the money? No. I am simply saying, if we had the choice to choose, probably we'll be choosing to be children from America or Canada, not Africa, not going somewhere that we want to suffer. Nobody wants to suffer. So we want to be in a better environment. But we cannot choose, and that is how religion is. That is how culture is. The culture that I grew up in is not a culture I choose, it's a culture I was born in. Is that understood? Okay. Now, it is not right or it is not wrong, it is only different. So when you have a conflict with somebody, I want you to put this in mind, that maybe that person is not right or wrong, the ideas are simply different, and if the ideas are simply different, you should accept, you should accommodate, and you should try to learn what is different from what they are doing that you are doing. If it is something you can incorporate, take it. If it is something you will enlighten them, maybe it is an idea or a procedure that was way back, show them what is new without necessarily making them less of themselves. Is that understood? Next, living in another country, we have to open our eyes to see, we have to open our minds to accept and to understand. Is that understood? So, to round it up, we have come to the end of culture shock. At this level, I have told you about the culture of the people of Qatar. I have told you about the policies, both internal and external policies. I have told you about culture shock. So from now, henceforth, the only thing we are going to be learning is nursing and nursing and nursing and applying of procedures and how we are supposed to be working as nurses here in Qatar. Do we understand each other? So have you understood the people from Qatar? Have you at a certain point know what to do if you find yourself confused and in need to go back home? Have you? I am always going to be the first person for you to communicate anytime you feel like your brain is not acting correctly, or the people from your village are trying to play with you. Is that understood? Any question? Okay. If that's so be it, we'll have today, as our class will be ending now, the driver will come and take you guys to go get your SIM cards, and by 4 they will take you back to your accommodation. Okay? Thank you very much for today. Have your break, have something to eat, have something to ease yourself, whatever that will make you feel happy.